What I'm going to do for y'all in this video is I'm just going to show you how to do a quick oil change. Believe it or not, this oil has not been changed in 3 years. I looked at the ticket on it and it has 2,000 miles on the engine oil, but it's 3 years old. It was changed in 2023 and I find that hilarious. 2023, they had an oil change and they've only driven it 1,800 miles. So that gives you an idea how much miles is on this engine. And let me show you guys what you need to do an oil change on a Ford Fiesta. So I went ahead and got this air filter. Check this out. This is the original Ford air filter straight out of the factory. That gives you an idea. That's never been changed. There's the part number that the air filter that you're going to need. And let me show you what you have to do to replace this air filter. You're going to need to use a little Torx. I think that's a T5 bit. So you're going to need to use a little Torx head bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Unscrew that, lift that up, and just put it down. Very simple. This fits in there just like this. You can see it drops down in there like that. That's the bottom, that's the top. Pull that out, throw this one away, drop the other one down. You want to change the air filter about every maybe 3rd oil change, or around about maybe every 20,000 miles. Make sure you check your air filter and keep your air filter up to date. So let me show you what we're going to do today. Right down there is the oil filter, and what you're going to need, here's the part number for the STP one. Now this one I use STP. I usually use a Mobile One or Pennzoil oil filter, but this was a package deal, so I went ahead and picked it up. Always use Pennzoil. I'm using the Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic 5W20 15,000 mile protection, but still do it about every 3 to 5,000, at the 5 at the most, 3 at the least. So you're going to put this wheel chock right here. Always do it on this back wheel. The parking brake is on this thing. You're going to need a jack. You could use your car jack if you want to. You're going to need a oil filter removal tool. I use this little tool right here. You could probably do this one by hand, but see how it squeezes as you turn on it? I like that. You're going to need a torque wrench. Maybe you don't need a torque wrench. This is for the oil plug. I use a torque wrench and try to get exactly torque spec. You're also going to want to get you a oil catch pan. Right here's mine. It's kind of like a basic oil, and I think it's the 10 quart. So I did my truck and I'll do this car, and that gives me 10 quarts. And then I got a little creeper cloth right here that I can slide around. I'll leave links to all this stuff below if this is something that you guys really want to keep, because if you're like me and you got multiple vehicles, this is something you want to do. You could save yourself a ton by doing all the oil yourself. So let's go ahead. Let's jack this thing up and let's go up under it and let me see what we're dealing with, because I've actually never done one of these, but I got a good idea how it works. You want to make sure you're right on the frame. Good spot right there. Oh, one other thing I might have forgot to mention was some jack stands. Always run a jack stand, especially on a car this low. You definitely want to run a jack stand. Now I'm going to lower it down till that jack stand touches it slightly. I want to get it right off that control arm, right in there. Okay, now that we're under here, let me show you what you're going to do. You see that bolt right there? That's a 13 millimeter. You want to take that bolt off, drain your oil right there. There's the oil filter. It's probably on there pretty tight. I did run this engine a little bit. I just got back from a drive. It's not like super hot, but it's not super cold. I let it cool down a little bit. First thing I'm gonna do is drain the oil out right here, and then I'm gonna take the oil filter off right here. I probably will have to use that because I tried to turn it with my hand. I couldn't do it. It's been on there so long. Everything looks good. So let's go ahead, let's get this bolt off and let this thing start draining. I just kind of like get it loosened. I'm gonna run this. The drain's that way. What I'm doing, while I'm turning it, I'm putting pressure on it. So I'm pushing against it, everybody. So even when it's loose, I'm still pushing against it. See how it's starting to drip? And then once I get it to right there, I'm just gonna slowly kind of open it. There it is. And then put this, move this up. There we go, we're draining. See the drain hole's right here actually, so I'm gonna put this bolt right there. That bolt is actually kind of warm. So that bolt's gonna stay right there. I'm gonna let this drain. Let's get out from under here. Maybe lift that little cap up so it doesn't pressurize itself. Okay, let's get out from under here. Let that drain. Now, this only has 4.2 quarts of oil in it. The oil doesn't look overly bad. Like I said, it's just old. So you can see it right there. It doesn't look like super dark. It's just old oil, which I don't like. I like it when my oil is freshy. It's pretty much all drained out right there. Let's go ahead and let's try to get this oil filter at least loosened up. Now, it was on there pretty tight. I loosened it up a little bit. So you want to kind of get this. It's going to go up. Think of it going upwards towards the engine. See, once I got a turn on it, see it's coming loose. See how this wrench works? It kind of pressurizes it a little bit. And that's all it really does is enough, stupid hose. It's just squeeze it is enough to grab it. It's kind of like the claw right there. I'm just putting a couple of threads in there. I'm gonna move it up and get it right up under this. See how now I got it where I can turn it pretty easy. Oh, it's missing it. There we go, we got it. See, what I'm gonna do is just let it drain. I can't think of a better way of doing this. And just unscrew it there. Now, one thing that you're gonna do when you unscrew this, oh crap, that was a lot more oil. You can see how hot it was. Make sure that your rubber gasket comes off with this. I've seen some videos where people left a gasket on there and then they double gasketed and it pretty much, they just wasted all their oil. They had to take it all right back off. So now I made sure that's all off of there. Make sure we're all cleaned up. What I'm gonna do is get a rag and clean this area up, but there's the oil filter that came off of here. You guys see that? It's the VO25 Valvoline one. Let's move this oil pan out, get all this cleaned up, and then I'll come back. A little bit of brake parts cleaner to clean that up. I've got a rag. That's 21. That feels about right too. I went to 22 foot-pounds. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera there, but 21 to 25 foot-pounds, maybe max. Now, one thing that I like to do with the oil filter is I put a little bit of oil around the ring, then just kind of lining it up right here. Hand tighten this. Do not use a wrench on it till you get it hand tightened all the way down. Once again, verify your gasket isn't still in there. There we go. That is on there. I might put a little torque on it with that wrench, but that all looks good. Then I'm gonna spray this, clean it up with brake parts cleaner, clean that out, and we'll put oil in it. Okay, now that I've got the oil filter tightened on there really good and tight, I've got the drain plug back in there. By the way, I took this off before I drained the oil just to kind of like get the pressurize out. Just remember to do that and always use whatever oil it calls for. There's 5W20 on the top of there. It's 4.2 quarts. You will need a funnel, and I've got 5 quarts of Pennzoil right here. And the good thing I like about this is it actually has the quarts right here. So we need to go to about from there. So we need to have about 0.5 left in this. Now I'm gonna routinely check the oil. Actually, let's go ahead and check it right now and see where we're at. Little tiny oil dipstick right there. On these small engines, oil is so important. We are completely empty. There is not a drop in there. Make sure your drain, this is always clean, dude. Always check that. Make sure there's not like a speck of sand, dirt, or anything down in there. Just keep going just like this. I'm gonna stop and check it. You can see it says I have 1.5 quarts left. Let's check the oil and see where we're at. I don't wanna overfill it, because I've never changed the oil on this, so this is my first time. So well, if you see where we're registering, right there at that first one, we are good. Everybody, we have 0.5. Right on it. Well, maybe a smidge over it, and I'm okay with that. We are right on that bend, so I'm okay with that right there. I still have, I'll show you what I have left in here. Right there is what I got left in there. So if you've got a 5-quart jug, fill it till you get a little bit below that 0.50 or 0.5 right there, and you should be good to go. Like I said, then I like to drive it and then test it out, and I check it when the next gas fill up drive it a little bit, and then check it. So clean that off. There it is. There's all of the actual, everything we're going to do out here that covers the oil filter, the drain plug, and what I need to do, and a little over, and the 4.5 quarts of oil that I put in there. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to reset the oil light. Okay, so I looked in the manual to reset the actual like oil light, which I think is every 5,000 miles, turn it to the on position, gas and brake held down at the same time. It is reset. So now that's reset back to 5,000 miles. It will show you the little wrench icon, I think will come up, will let you know that it is ready to go. But everybody, that's how you change the oil in a 1.6 Duratec engine. And let me show you, if you were curious about what your engine is, 1.6L group. Pretty simple process to change your own oil, something I highly recommend. That's all I got today on changing the engine oil in a Ford Fiesta. See you on the next video.